Traveling to New Queen Street. Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Sure. Got it.
Every soldier needs a cause.
Receive my aid.
Just another day in the office.
Hello.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings.
Objective unlocks in 30 seconds.
Hi.
We are moving. Hello.
Hey. Hello.
Made manifest.
The lead has been taken.
Test subject.
Oscar Mike, enemy territory. Biotics deployed. Come get here. If I'm still standing, come here and I'll heal you. Stop the robot!
They're moving the barricade!
We're gonna lose the lead. Step up. Much better. Everyone heal up.
On fire.
I've got you in my sights. I love this. Fields online.
Well covered! Careful! The enemy has it! What's up?
They can't get away with this.
My blade is ready to be
Don't let the enemy take the
Intercept
lead.
that robot!
Double.
Rally to my side. We are pushing.
Thanks. Got eyes on an enemy.
Behind you, repairing your cellular makeup.
We are making progress. Keep pushing.
Meet your fate.
Redeploying. I've got meds. Who needs them?
Our lead narrows.
The enemy is pushing their barrier.
They're getting close. Let's make our stand.
We must regain the lead. We made none of us.
I've got you in my sights. You can't beat me. Never learn. Come get healed.
Your team is close.
Take the lead.
Oscar Mike to enemy territory.
Pushing ahead.
Bionic healing ready for you.
We cannot allow them to take the robot.
Biotics deployed. We have the robot. Time to move.
This ends now.
Well played, well played, well played. Let's go.
Got you in my sights. Still got some fight in me.
Receive my aid.
Enemies in disarray.
Team kill.
Is appreciated.
Hey,
Oh, Morsi was so good.
Exercise is good for your joints.
barricades moving out. Heals coming up.
Back in control.
Who needs healing?
Let us proceed. Breaking them down.
Approaching the final station.
There's a test subject.
What the fuck?
I've seen tougher spots.
Claiming the robot.
Fields online.
Not so fast.
Yes. Regroup.
Under my protection.
I am ready to unleash coalescence.
My ultimate is charging.
We're running out of time. Move quickly.
Annihilated.
10 seconds remaining.
I've got you in my sights.
Double team kill. Victory. Play of the game.
Justice is cruel. It demands... Justice is cruel. It demands sacrifice. Justice is cruel. It demands sacrifice.
Go push a rock up a hill. Go push a rock up a hill.
We can get close. We can get a.
Should I play? Should I play? Defend. Yes.
Who exactly?
Plenty of bombs to go around.
Is someone who carries band-aids?
راي انت نفسك الجيم اللي
Guess
فات
not.
Yes,
اللي
bro.
كان ماب ايش تبغى انت؟ اقص كيف حالك؟
Yes, bro. Yes.
Something has to change.
Anybody got a toothpick?
راين
Got one of them
Must be
mantis
getting
arms
fat.
stuck between me molars. Don't tell anyone.
5, 4, 3, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A. Double
What the fuck?
كيريكو باك. كيريكو جي جي. كيريكو مليون نص فلك.
They can't get away with this. Join me.
تاتش بيرد. تاتش بيرد. تاتش
double
كفو سن.
Go, go, go. It's okay, we got this.
Hi. What's up?
Prova up here.
Join me.
Yes, yes. What?
This situation calls for more bombs.
Nice, nice soldier.
هذا. Thank you.
Coming in. Oh. They got some flying. What?
Heat check.
Oh, nice.
kill.
كفو راين كفو.
Go, go, go.
My ultimate is charging.
Cure for all the days. Surrender to my will.
We're in area. Nice.
Team
Enemy team's out of commission. Hey. Hello.
Thanks. Here, you have to kill it. No. Bro. No.
Now, to start anew.
Group up here.
adaptive circuits engaged.
Nice.
Sip for the
Ult. I can ult him. Wait.
Okay, okay.
My back's to the wall. My ultimate is almost ready. My ultimate is charging. For the Crusaders!
Огонь по готовности!
Round 1 complete. Score 0-1. Switching sides. Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
I'll see this matter resolved.
If we do this right, they won't even know what happened.
Moira, give me a drink.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I had a C9, okay?
Capture objective
Express delivery to certain doom!
Over here!
Ah, no.
Take to the objective!
Behind us.
Objective A captured.
What's that?
Escort the payload.
I run with blades all the time. Wait till you see me on my bike.
What? Heal me, bro. I'm low. Go, go, go.
What is it now?
No, 3 in the belt. Move up here. 3 سريع أكثر.
Go, boss.
Over there!
动住，不许走！
我利用 a whipping.
Group up, boys.
Gruba, Brian.
Whoa, Evo bus. Whoa, I am so low. They have Reaper ult.
Group up with me. We need to move the payload.
Rendezvous here.
I have flank. Ah, nice shot.
Group up here.
Tactical visor activated.
We'll go for a.
Strike from above.
Starting.
Why isn't the payload en
It's
route?
okay, it's okay.
On my way. On the move. Increasing altitude.
No. Ah,
不许走！
Sterben nicht.
Returning to battle. Taking to the air. Scatter.
60 seconds remaining.
Come get healed.
Positioning.
go. Nice.
30 seconds remaining.
Every second count! Crush their defense!
Dispersing.
Victory. Play of the game.
Got you.
It's okay, let's go.
started as a promise. A promise of something different. A promise of heroes. But the path to glory is never promised.
This is a knockdown, drag-out, no-holds-barred brawl. What devastating loss. Heartbreak City. This is the largest mountain to climb.
But somewhere, a glimmer of hope persists. The promise of a new era.
The stakes get ratcheted up a notch. Oh! No way does he win that! That's what you want to see! Are you not entertained?
An era that celebrates where we came from. At a place we call home. Which heroes will fall? Which heroes will rise? The Overwatch League playoffs start right now.
Welcome one and all to Watchpoint. We are here live in person at the Anaheim Convention Center. Beautiful weather out today. The pumps are swaying, the fountain is babbling, and we're really ready now to kick off the Overwatch League 2022 playoffs. I am your host, Zoe Schwind, and joining me here on our brand new snazzy analyst desk are no other than my trusted analysts, Reinforce, Costa, and Danny. Unfortunately not with us. We traded him in for a desk.
Can't have both. Worth it.
Can't have, it was Desker.
Sorry.
It was
I'm sorry,
Desker
Danny.
Danny. It was Desker Danny. Sorry about it.
For the playoffs, so they have been successful, but they've played a little different to everyone else has in this league so far. They've always had that ace up their sleeve, which was playing that Reinhardt with Chatty and playing that rush style, catching teams off of guard. But if we're going to have a look here at Hardy's map win rates right here, very successful on the Reinhardt, very successful on the Junker Queen. With Winston, he's only won 7 maps for a 41% map win rate. So when they have had to play that dive style, they haven't been as successful on the other things that they're more comfortable with. As we go into this meta, where it could be Winston, Kiriko, like we are expecting, what are the London Spitfire going to play? Do they go back to their comfort, try and force rush against teams that will not expect or have experience against it? Or will they stick to the meta? Will the meta be too important to play and they have to go against the grain of what usually makes them great? Obviously, they're all still a great team. Backbone has shown us a lot of versatility as of late, playing other heroes. They have Khan joining their backline as well, so who could be a very good mechanical player on the Kiriko. So that's really the big question that I have for London. What are they going to play? Are they going to go back to their comfort, or are they going to go to the Winston and defy the expectations that we've had from them this season?
Absolutely. Now, I mean, some players might have to pick up different heroes heading into this meta. However, I do think that Sojourn is still pretty good. And the damage line for the London Spitfire has been very impressive. I specifically want to take a look here at Sparker, a player which really stood out on his Sojourn, and probably a player which a lot of people didn't have on their radar heading into the Countdown Cup or general even into the season. But I really think he held his own on that Sojourn. I have no idea why you're smiling like that.
He's Swedish. He was on my radar.
Okay. Well, in that case,
Go on, carry on.
No one else but Reinforce had him on his radar. But I mean, playing Sojourn, like, what you need to do is get those picks.
Yeah.
That is your job, and if you're doing that, you're doing great. And he has been doing that, and some on top of that, because he actually is 3rd in first elimination rate in the entire season, and 1st in the Countdown Cup itself. Unfortunately, the team is not doing very good at actually winning team fights on the back of those first wins he's getting. So he's pulling his weight, and he's doing what he needs to do as a Sojourn. It's now all up to the team to follow suit and follow up on those first elims, because he has certainly been doing really well.
You spoke like a true ranked DPS player right there. I'm getting the picks. Everyone else really needs to step up for me right now.
If it's true, it's true. The
Don't
stats
lie.
don't lie. I wish I had a stat card like that in my ranked game, so I can, show them that it's not me, it's you guys. Yeah, that's how it is. Now, Reinforced though, I wanna have a quick talk here about Philly, because that team has been a bit of a conundrum. And that's not just this season, everyone. That's been since their inception. So, yeah, the big question I think we all have here is the DPS. I want to know who's going to level up in our new segment, Leveling Up, presented by Butterfinger.
Yeah, we got a couple of questions about the Philadelphia Fusion because, of course, Zest has been their standout damage player so far this season. He's a rookie on the team and he's been fantastic in that flex damage role. But he sustained an injury just a couple of months ago. We saw him in a cast in his arm, of course, and he couldn't play the game. So we had Carpe fill in. Now, Carpe, he's no slouch. All right, Carpe is one of the best damage players to ever play the game. And if we take a look at his all-time stats, if you're new to the Overwatch League, you need to remember the name Carpe. Just take a look at the ranks. Second in hero damage, second elimination, second in final blows. This is not per 10 minutes stats. This is all-time totals in the Overwatch League. These 5 years we've been playing the game. So Carpe, he's one of the all-time greats throughout the league. But if you take a look at this year, he's taken a bit of a step back, specifically on the Tracer, which is his signature hero. You can see third eliminations, tied for fourth in final blows, but the hero damage isn't quite there, and his pulse bomb kills. He really needs to step that up for the playoffs. Now, the Philadelphia Fusion, they've already tweeted out their starting lineup, in fact, and it is going to be, in fact, MN3 and Carpe, who we expect in this meta. So we'll see. The rumors are we're seeing a bit of Tracer and potentially Reaper in this meta as well, which plays to Carpe's hero pool strengths. And if you're really down on Carpe from his performances so far this year, Costa, he actually did look pretty decently recently.
Yeah, you're seeing replays of this match against Seoul Dynasty, which was their most recent match that they played. Yes, they did go on to lose, but Seoul is the best team that we have in the East, and Carpe performed at a very high level, better than a lot of us have seen from him this year. So if Carpe comes back into form, that could be a big thing for the Philadelphia Fusion.
I also would like to add quickly as well that if you're looking for someone to root for, I would say that Carpe is the best player to never have won anything in the league. So if you're hoping for someone that like finally can win something, a stage title, a playoff championship, Carpe is your guy. He's been around forever. He's an all-time great, but he still hasn't won a tournament. We're looking out for him to do that the playoffs.
And how fantastic to have Carpe, like a legend, potentially returning to old form, still playing for that Fusion team as well, which, I mean, you said it before, and I was actually not aware of that fact.
Yeah, he is the only player since the inception of the Overwatch League to stay on the same team throughout forever. Carpe is literally the Philadelphia Fusion, what it feels like at this point.
Yeah.
If he can come back into form and win the Philadelphia Fusion a championship at the very end, it would be history.
What a story.
It would be monumental. It would be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be a real good storyline. Also because Fusion just is very well known to be the bridesmaid, always, never the bride.
Never the bride.
Always coming second. So maybe this is the year where they change their fortune. For now, though, I do want to just take a look at our predictions for the very first match. Do we think that the potential underdog London Spitfire will pull through, or do we...
Oh, Danny.
Traveling to Route 66. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
We're in this together. All of us.
live for this.
Over here!
Plenty of bombs to go around. Blasting up.
Tonight's called Gracie. The axe is Carnage. And me? I'm your queen.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
And Fusion.
Okay.
Oh, Danny, you believer. I can't believe...
Danny is a bit of a London predator, though.
Yeah, he
is
is.
sided
Does
with
love a
Hardy and the
London.
guys, you know, a lot of times.
Well, here's the thing. I'm actually surprised that so many of us went for the Philadelphia Fusion. The London Spitfire are the higher seed. For me, the reason I went for Philadelphia Fusion is I think this meta lines more up with the way that they like to play the game compared to London. But I would not be surprised. Philadelphia Fusion will have no experience playing against the Russians.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
We're in this together. All of us.
From imperfection, we build I've simply grown tired of pretending I am content.
Perhaps I can share your burden.
You already do.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Let's get a groove on.
Teleporter taking shape. Positioning turret.
New revelations have come to light.
The objective is now active.
Moira by your side. Misery made
We are stronger together.
We are in harmony.
My brother pities you.
I have opened the path. Turret materialized.
You're broken. May I?
Forgive me, the battle.
You are needed here.
No path is completely certain. I am focus our attack on the objective. Behold my creation. Placing a turret here. I am taking the objective. Is anyone coming? Yaki Paramvastavika here. I'm looking out for you. Turret materialized. Teleporter manifested. This is the way. This is the night.
Join me. You are needed here.
You lack perspective. Sentry in position. Reality favors repetition. Watch your surroundings.
You only asked for my help.
We are stronger together.
Adjusting turret placement.
Start your engines. Tired of this shit?
For the punch.
Devour them.
Yaki Paramvastavika here.
Tools in hand, brain in gear. I'm overloading! All according to design.
Sure, for all the days.
Activating the barrier. Show them what you can do. Time to let off some steam! The objective. Maker proud. I'm overloading! The universe is singing to me!
First round. One.
Start your engine.
You're all set up, my dear.
Roll on.
Score 1-0.
In the field, Doctor? Testing a hypothesis, perhaps?
With the rate at which our colleagues get injured, I expect
Nigger.
I'll be testing my patience.
Nigga nuts. Nigga ball.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2.
I'm overloading! They have 2 chances to get the job done. Let's do it in one.
Pain is inevitable.
The barrier appears. I foresee great things.
That's what I fucking hate.
Receive my aid.
We're in this together. All of us.
Over there! Clear out!
Feeling better. Not so fast. Feeling better.
We're outnumbered! Watch yourselves! Clear out!
I offer something more.
Assistance would be appreciated.
Gonna need a new paint job after this.
You're falling.
This ends now.
Score
I'm not a fan of setbacks.
1-1.
You count on me, I count on you.
Push you.
imperfection, we build a new world.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 3. Capture the objective.
It's all tied up. Hey, you know what that means. Time for sudden death. Group up here.
Positioning turret. A sip for the parched.
Barriers weakened.
Double kill.
No path is completely certain.
The objective must be taken.
Adjusting turret placement. What efficient defenses. I require assistance. Positioning turret.
The barrier appears.
Over here. Sentry in position.
The universe does not weep when the sea. We are alone. For now. Convene here.
Placing a turret here.
Barrier initialized.
A chance to act on my observation.
Victory. Play of the game.
If that's the direction London want to go into, so they could catch them off guard with the ace up their sleeve that they keep pulling.
Yeah, and it's weird that this ace is not in their sleeve. They're literally wearing it outside. Like, this is not a surprise. Like, if you play against a London Spitfire, you should know that there is a potential of that rush coming at you.
Yep.
So if you're not prepared for that, joke's on you. We'll see how it goes for the Philadelphia Fusion in our first match here today. But that's it for Watchpoint. It's now time to get the Overwatch League 2022 playoffs started. The matches will start right now.
It started as a promise of something different, a promise of
No, even Sojourn, who can get into the mix and brawl a little bit more for a longer range damage dealer, as looks like both teams here at the start. You know, Winston as the tank with the Lucio Carico as that backline, and then yeah, Reaper in the mix with Sojourn. So Reaper really going to try and become a nuisance to the enemy Winston.
Bellisria so low early on, perhaps not expecting the Reaper there, but Carpe is also on that particular pick. Landon, of course, able to capitalize on that large Winston headbox and find him there with one of those knives. A great opening here with Bellisria already out of the mix for Philly. Not an auspicious start for them.
Yeah, and you don't know what actually he took that large chunk of damage from. It could have been the Sojourn rail shot. Could have been Reaper. I also like, it could have been like a rail shot plus like the Kariko headshot, right? The Kariko headshot does triple damage. I mean, can really take out an enemy quickly, and that's going to be an M3 hitting a rail shot on the Spark.
It's the perfect opening here. Just as Spark is starting to get comfortable, and as the team holding the point, he can play in a pocket of safety. He gets picked out of the mix pretty much straight away. And now the Fusion will look to try and hold the bridge as much as they can, or at least try and telegraph the enemy Winston's movements towards them here. Bear in mind, a lot of free Sojourn charge coming off of these Winston bubbles, so may see more of those rails here as the Fusion give up the point.
They just get bullied off. They get that first pick, they flip for a little bit, and then they just get bullied back off of the point here by London. So London able to get control again. Both teams will have their Kariko ult, so expect to see loads of damage and fast action coming soon.
Here it is, Kitsune rush from Aim God. They're trying to catch Hardy in the middle of their team, and he gets absolutely blown to smithereens. A good open up, both teams lay down the roads as Carpe wants to push out here. The sound barrier used by Fixer, something not available to the Spitfire in that fight, and maybe a key component in them regaining control at some point. Backbone needs to be wary.
And I think even if London had that sound barrier, it's better off to save it, because now you can come in and engage with the sound barrier, connects on to everybody, and look at this, they get a kill right away.
That's classy. Bellisria caught out of position at the start of that fight. He gets moved to the side as the Spitfire engage with that sound barrier. He's forced to look on in dismay as the rest of his team is sent to the chop shop.
You just need that sound barrier, right? They use the overclock there as well for Sparker to just get high charge on that Sojourn, just hit a rail shot quick. See, if Billy tries to push in here, Mitch, you could end up seeing like a Death Blossom from Backbone, but you're not even going to need it.
Unbelievable picks here from Sparker. First up on MN3. Protection Susie thrown down there. It's getting a little bit dicey for Carpe. He's trying to farm Hardy for a little bit of that help, but he gets turned into an edgy pancake. As the Winston jump claims him, and the Spitfire now head to 72%. Crucially, Death Blossom available here for both sides, and that Primal Rage will be in play.
But just how does Philly attack this? Like, London is playing so close and so aggro that if Philly is going to try and get towards that point, they're probably going to have to spend a ton of ultimates to do so. And when they get there, it's probably going to be like close to 95% for London, where London can save and be pretty conservative in this fight and then just come back and win one more.
ZMN3 again, who serves that pickup on a platter. But do the Fusion need to really fight for their meal here? They definitely don't seem like Apex Predators right now. That's a Death Blossom there. That was from Backbone. Carpe's going to get out with the Wraith Walk here, and Bellisria is trying to disperse the Spitfire as well as he can across the point. MN3 with the overclock. It's a lot of damage, mostly just getting pumped into Hardy right now, who's able to get away. Landon not so lucky though. His head gets a steaming hole bored through it, and Carpe's able to bring Sparker down. The Fusion, they fight doggedly for this point, but as you highlighted, Matthew, the Spitfire will have plenty of time to get back in the driver's seat.
Plenty of time. I think this next fight, though, will be pretty interesting and pretty telling about how, this could go, where London could end up using this Kitsune rush and getting the point back rather quickly. But Philly, a really good counter to that is you can just kind of send that Reaper in with the Death Blossom, just force everybody out of that area so they lose some of that attack speed.
Protection Susie could buy you a little bit of time to get away from the epicenter of that Death Blossom. But if Carpe positions this correctly, Spitfire won't know what is coming. Again, Sparker, much like MN3 has been, probing here at the start of these fights. Nothing easy to farm for this charge until the bubble comes down. He can build some of that up, but MN3's already found Admiral. Headshot with the railgun. The perfect antidote here to whatever the Spitfire were cooking up. And they're out of the picture again.
So they had to use Sound Barrier to engage there and go in and make a play, but you're looking at like last fight territory, so at least Philly gives themselves a puncher's chance here at the end, right? With how good Sojourn is, with like some one-shot potentials. You see MN3 just trying to farm some damage there to be able to get like a high-powered rail. One shot, whether it be on like a Lucio or a Kariko, seals the deal for your team.
Carpe trying to preempt the fight. He managed to catch Sparker immediately. So now the sound barrier only applied to 4 players. Carpe's able to disengage while most of the sound barrier expires. And that ace in the hole for the London Spitfire gets used a little prematurely here. Lander, looks like also there was a casino rush involved in that last fight. So the Spitfire now a little underarmed as they try and approach the point once more. And Bellatrix going for the Primal Rage. Was hoping for a knockback kill, but look at the damage on him there. He'll circle back, but Sparker and Backbone have already done their fair share of damage. Bellatrix are in Primal.
We're in this together. All of us.
A fine day for charging and hitting things. Hello! These old dogs ragtag bunch, but we'll get it done.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Objective unlocks in 30 seconds.
Hi, hello!
Objective unlocked.
Time for the board!
We are falling apart.
Forging ahead! I'm feeling the burn! I've got great things for you.
There they are. Get
Stand
ready.
behind me.
Breaking them down.
Let all the speed!
Forward spawn
Disrupting.
Let's get some orders.
Anna, heal. Anna.
They took the robot. Let's fix that. Nothing a quick
Anna,
repair
heal,
won't
bro.
fix.
Taking damage.
Not so fast.
What
Not so fast. If they won't quit, neither will I.
Don't let them take the robot! The enemy is moving their barricade!
Huh?
Time to let off some steam!
ركزوا يا شباب خلنا نلعب مع فريق.
What?
Don't let them push that barricade!
Healer, just focus.
We can't let them push ahead of us. Интип Эмен.
Огонь по готовности.
Don't let them push any further.
الهيلر يا شباب.
Your team has lost the lead.
They lost the lead!
We're almost past them. Now. Helden sterben nicht.
Anyone else?
Taking the lead.
Crusaders! Moving the barricade! Take back the robot!
Nice, nice, nice.
Over here! We've taken the robot! Onward! Show them what's what!
Wait.
Ready to act over there! Passing out the welcome mat! Maximum power!
Must you rule of all?
Over here! Every soldier needs a cause.
Forward spawn activated.
Bionic healing ready for use.
This ends now.
Watching the final destination.
Pay attention or you'll wind up dead.
GG.
GG boy.
Play of the game.
Огонь по готовности.
Well, that's expired. He's down and it's only aim god left. Nowhere to jump to here. Has a London Spitfire come out on top. This one is going to be quite the brawl.
Very back and forth though, and you just see how powerful the overclock is. And Sparker was, towards the later half of the season, right? One of the better Sojourns we had, in the Western region. Really able to come up with clutch plays time and time again. So Admiral, nice movement on the Lucio, able to get in, get that touch, but Sparker and Backbone seal the deal there for London.
For MN3, so many of his kills, in fact, almost all of them come as first picks in those fights, right? Which is huge to open up those engagements. When Backbone just gets to throw himself into the mix here, you see he waits for a Carpe already forward with Sparker, so crazy to say that this is almost overkill in this situation. Saw the protection Susie used there by AimGod. No one really able to benefit from that. It's just Bellasaria getting lit up for a moment and then eventually getting cut down to size.
Yes, no comp changes here going into the next round here on Lijiang Tower. As I think these are going to be some of the comps that we see throughout like a majority of the playoffs. Reaper really good, in terms of like self-survivability and also putting pressure onto that. Winston has a little bit of an invuln of himself, being able to escape with a Wraith form. And in Sojourn, we know how powerful she is at the highest levels of play. I mean, just being, the players just nail these shots so easy.
With those Zen in play, you definitely need something else to answer just a very large health pool of the Winston. Sparker charged up here, Matt. Oh, a lot of pressure being put down there. Billy extremely low. Not in a great position to contest right now. MN3 hope to find a railgun there as he peeks the left-hand side. Comes up with very little, and the Spitfire doing a great job of just bullying the Fusion away from the objective here. Again, Bellasaria out of position for the time being. He kind of gets knocked across on the left-hand side. The Spitfire are happy for the Fusion to figure out how to get to the first.
That first fight, the real difference there, where it's like Sparker hits a rail shot and just gets a player or two weak and just backs them up. But it's going to be the Kitsune rush right away, the protection there, giving everybody the involve for a little bit, and then Billy's going to die.
Okay, that's enough to clear the Spitfire away, but eventually they're going to look to be coming back to reclaim what's theirs. Point does get flipped in the middle of this fight here, and it's going to be a sound barrier now for the Fusion, who want to hold on to this. But it comes a little later from the Spitfire, which means right now they have that extra durability advantage. Sparker doesn't opt to go for a railgun here. The Fusion again just gets shoved away from the objective, then a point split back.
London just seems to have a great understanding of like the pace and flow of the game right now in terms of the meta, right? Where they know that they can back off for a quick second, give up for a little bit. They know they have the ultimates, the abilities, just in general, to be able to flip that right back and get the advantage. It's two players with that Death Blossom. Bellasaria has to use Primal, and he's going to get absolutely nothing for it. London in complete control.
Regardless of the metagame, this is actually something London are very good at doing, right? They control the point, they push up, and then someone just gets a little out of position. In that case, it was AimGod, who had to swift step away, but he'd already taken so much damage and hardly had a jump available. They go in, they block Chinico. That's a great way to begin the fight. This is a very effective zoning element for the most part here. Bellasaria cops one sweet. There is he's forced back for even longer at 72%. This is a mirror image of last round so far. How do the Fusion get back in now with that MN3?
And you also have Hadi with a Primal Rage, right? As they try and push in, use some of that speed. Death Blossom, that's going to result in nothing. As they're just so desperate, Mitch, to try and make it towards the point.
Carpe just looking for anything at this stage. Still, London gives them absolutely nothing. It's a late Kitsune rush from the Spitfire, and they're going to use this to capitalize here. This is so classic from the London Spitfire, Matt. They know that Kitsune rush has a limited length, so they disengage, such that the Fusion have to move off of their own Kiriko ultimate and lose that haste bonus.
Now entering King's Row.
Plenty of bombs to go around.
Five, four, three, 1. Attack commencing. Capture objective A.
Nice one. Let's go.
I still think we can win. Over there.
Come here, I'll heal you.
Objective A captured. Escort located.
Targeting hostile.
Let's go.
Don't tell anyone. This'll tickle their meat.
What?
Nerf this. Let's give it a fair shake, mate.
Group up, group up, group up.
Sigma, present. Force is required to move the payload forward.
We have liftoff. Over here. Walk on this. And when I do this, doesn't it count? What a lot.
defense.
Yeah, junk.
I'll keep trying till I run out of limbs.
انتي بأمان. The Iron Core watches our payload moves in accordance.
What the?
I'm going back in.
Heroes never die.
I am indefatigable.
Go. Yo, soldier, wait.
The payload moving forward.
30 seconds remaining.
Into attack now!
Double
Tactical visor activated.
Our time is up. Push down!
Round 1 complete.
What a love!
Score 3-0. Switching sides. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
From imperfection, we build a new world.
You answered Winston's recall, even after all you went through.
If I am called and I do not answer, what is left, Anna?
You are left, Reinhardt, and that is nothing to scoff at.
Our fates are entwined.
Anna, Jack, my old friends, this is going to be delightful!
Over there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Shield activated.
Turret materialized.
Eyes on a target.
Positioning turret. Yahi param vastavik hai.
Oh no.
No path is completely certain.
Secure the objective.
Constructing my teleporter. Raksha Pranali from detection.
Yes. No. Nice try. Soldier, you have to kill the Farah. I'll take the rest.
This will cut the pain.
I have opened the bar. We must stop the payload.
Sie werden dich nicht kriegen.
Nanoboost administered.
Enemy in sight.
Helden sterben nicht.
Over there, turret materialized.
Justice reigns from above. Justice reigns from above.
With each failure comes new perspective.
It's okay, we got this. Yo, tank. Wait.
I'm under attack with this.
What?
Healing fortified.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Helden sterben nicht.
Fire in the hole!
Round 2. Score 3-3. Switching sides. Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
You caught?
Safety's off. It's a cruel world out there.
Keep in sight. I'll have us in and out in no time.
No unnecessary risks.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commencing. Capture objective. Complete. Score 3-3. Switching sides. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
Side. Side. Play as the game.
And then they use one of their own as they're getting pushed into. Lovely stuff from the London Spitfire. Just their comprehension about, like you said, Matt, the way this metagame works, at least in this matchup, really shining through.
You can see where they put down that Kitsune Rush, where Hadi was actually able to, you know, get in the middle of it, use some of it on the outside, and dip back into it, and then go to the other side and go, you know, attend to some players and put some pressure down, and still have that haste buff. Really good use of the character there at the start for the London Spitfire.
Yeah, great opening, and again, Backbone really critical on that Reaper. You know, in terms of skill expression and that hero, not always easy to show you the highest of heights and the peaks of what Reaper is capable of doing. But Backbone's the perfect kind of player to put him on like a consistent output hero that has a very impactful area of effect ultimate. He's exactly where he needs to be. He stays alive, and he's there when it counts. Nice stuff here for the London Spitfire. Good opener is Philadelphia now left scratching their heads. How do they answer this? They're losing out in the mirror.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the
A lot of the focus is going to be on how effectively Hardy's going to be able to close the gap and start to pressure into the fusion. I just want to say, Matt, it seems like Philly have been very happy to give a lot of ground in that first map, right? You mentioned they were getting bullied away a lot. It definitely seemed like they were disengaging quite frequently, you know, at the risk of just getting blown out in a straight-up fight.
Yeah, and I think you probably see them disengage because I thought actually in the first map, you know, Sparker was doing a great job nailing some of those shots on the Sojourn, right? Those rail shots can just take like large chunks of HP from an opponent. And also there's like not a lot of like burst healing, right? Like you don't have like a Baptiste like regenerative burst or just the healing that he provides. Like you're playing Lucio. Oh, Rico, and that's a beautiful shot there. Dude, we've seen Backbone do that.
Oh, there's the smile.
Backbone not,
put an L in chat.
Historically, not historically a Widowmaker player, but has been able to do that time and time again.
Oh, he's got to let him know, doesn't he, Matt? Backbone switching over to Reaper now because his work ostensibly is done. No Sojourn at the start of the fight for the Philadelphia Fusion. They have to disengage there, no doubt about it. Find a way to come back in here. And in they go. Here's the dive. Bellisria booped up and going to be blown up pretty quickly. He's lucky to get out. There's going to be protection Suzu employed to make sure he can walk away in one piece. The London Spitfire almost 3 ticks on this point already, and oh god, the Fusion step off the point.
It's playoff time. You can tell by the way the Philly Fusion are playing right now. So, oh man, is no, not the best of starts right now from Philly is. You know what? I mean, London now 5:30 plus on the clock. You gotta have like some type of like big play, I feel like, happen for Philly, right? You get like a fight win, you know, something really goes your way. You can start to build some momentum because right now, London, I mean, every time we go to like individual shots and player camps, right? Everybody's laughing, they're loose. They feel like they have a great understanding of the game.
They don't let up, do they? The London Spitfire, they can take it though. Don't worry. There've been many teams that have been more than happy to have fun at their expense in years gone by, but now they've worked for this to be a team that can threaten the likes of the Fusion, and they're making the most of it in the match chat. Philly though, very much focused on the next phase of the plan, which is go, oh god, help us, oh god, stop the Spitfire at all costs. They've got to Kitsune Rush up their sleeve here. They've got to keep Carpe alive. The Okuda able to reach him. And here's Kitsune Rush from both teams out. This is going to be pretty intense, man.
I mean, just so much damage that's unanswered. But you have the sound barrier available for the London Spitfire first. Let's see if they can capitalize in that brief moment. They do. They get a kill on AimGod.
Yeah, that's huge. Fixer went for the sound barrier, but AimGod wasn't able to capitalize, or benefit from it, rather. Now Sparky can peer in from the periphery, but Backbone's able to clean up Carpe with the Death Blossom. MN3 finding an exit kill, we'll call it, as he backs on away. Very quiet start for the Fusion here.
And you also had a little bit of a window there where Admiral had the sound barrier and the Philadelphia Fusion are still kind of like building up towards it. And Philly gets it probably like, I don't know, like 3-4 seconds after, but that's enough for London to locate a player who's weak and finish him off, which is AimGod.
Spark is overclocked.
Oh, you lose Carpe.
Gets picked off at the start, apropos of absolutely nothing as far as we can tell.
He just walks up to the car.
He must be trying to LOS with it, right? Maybe he doesn't expect a face full of Hellfire shotgun pellets from Backbone. And that's another checkpoint given up by the Fusion. They had 4 players alive. They're under a lot of pressure, granted. but it's not a great look either, as the Spitfire now are absolutely blasting through the map. There, Backbone. Love a little bit of checkers.
Yeah, being able to get that teleport in midair. I saw a clip, Seagull playing Symmetra. He was able to get a sick teleport back on the map. Just the attack here, man. This is an insane time from the London Spitfire. 4 minutes plus to take the final point. And it's not even just the final point mission. Like, they're going to get, like, almost around this corner where the end of the map is right there.
Carpe just trying to keep people away from the card here. You notice he's really not extending outside of the payload sphere of influence. Hardy dives in, but not too deep. It's going to be another Kitsune rush deployed here. AimGod doesn't have his yet. Backbone's going to be firing it extremely fast, and I think the Fusion know we can't fight them inside this ultimate.
Yes, I mean, what do you do? I mean, Sparker's able to get 2. You have the Reaper on the cart. You can't get rid of him. Vixa touches. AimGod has nobody to teleport to, and that is a full... This is a Philadelphia map pick.
Score.
And the London Spitfire, on their opponent's map pick, just runs it down, finishes the map with the 407 in the bank.
I mean, I'm watching AimGod try to heal Fixer, right, with the Ofida. It's like he's trying to give out, like, you know, first-class tickets to Morbius, and Fixer's like, no, I don't want that. Just, you can't get any of the healing because the bloody bubble just got dropped on top of the card, and not a lot going on. So, London Spitfire feeling very good. 20 final blows for the whole of the Spitfire. 8 of those for Backbone, 7 for Sparker. A paltry 5 for the Philadelphia Fusion. Oh dear, they are not ready for this. Carpe unable to get on the board with that Reaper, whereas Backbone has been cutting a bloody swath through his opponents.
I think the London Spitfire in the chat, they were talking about secret agent and James Bond. I assume, you know, Carpe, it's a thing in COD, you know, you put up that 0-7, the 007. He was, you know, a little James Bond style line there to start the half. That's rough.
Admiral, look at this. Now, Swift Step's available, but he touches the... Okay, so he touches the death zone before that ability can actually activate. Now, bear in mind, there
is like a little bit of a channel to it, yeah.
Right, and there also was an invulnerability window with that ability, but invulnerability sort of frames don't really care about environmental deaths. You sort of will die regardless of those that overwrites them. And plus, that invulnerability phase has been cut much shorter in the latest patch.
So how do you bounce back from this if you're Philly? Like,
bro, you need Carpe.
You chose
Carpe to wake up.
Yeah.
You Carpe, there it is. Okay.
And there it is, yeah.
Cuckoo clock going off there. Backbone going to be dispatched early here. MN3 has a pocket to play in, and Admiral's not able to get out of his line of sight quickly enough. Good start for the Fusion here. 2 big picks to open things up. The Spitfire maybe not expecting the Fusion to probe in that particular manner. Carpe just had that one on a silver platter, but he'll take it.
Yeah, beautiful start there. I mean, you kind of, I asked, like, how do you bounce back if you're Philly? And that's exactly how, right? You end up getting Carpe in, getting Carpe a kill, MN3 able to hit a nice rail shot. I think even if you don't get the best game from Carpe, if, you know, MN3 starts to do some of the things that we've seen throughout his run throughout the season on the Sojourn, it doesn't really even matter what happens with your Reaper, right? I think you can really start to turn the tide.
That's a great point. I mean, can you expect that out of MN3, right? Who's, you know, obviously coming into this team pretty fresh start of the year.
I don't want to say it's easy to play great during the regular season. It's not. But, you know, you got some teams in the regular season, you know, not up to par with some of the way that some of the teams here in the playoffs are going to play. Like, now is the time you got to show up. Like, it's great you show up in, you know, week 2 of the Summer Showdown, but really, this is what matters the most. If you can't put those performances here in the playoffs and against the top teams, it kind of goes for naught.
Interestingly there, Backbone again gets caught right at the start of that fight there. Is the Spitfire defensively finding a little bit hard to navigate their Winston composition.
This is looking good for Philly, dude, too. Look, I mean, you're going to have 5 ults coming into this fight. Admiral not even close to sound barrier with how fast these fights have gone in favor of the Philadelphia Fusion. As you're in a spot where Philly, where you could actually put yourself in a position if you win this fight to actually end up with like more time in the bank going into that final checkpoint.
Bear in mind, these shots pierce. Fusion definitely going to break line of sight and trying to avoid clumping up there around the card. Hardy trying to stop them here as they go in. Sound barrier for Fixer now as Landon's going to go with the Kitsune Rush MN3. Much of this damage being dedicated to the enemy Winston. He needs to get him out of the picture here. Over the top, he comes again, aimed on. Oh dear, okay. Yeah, can't get out of that. He actually swift steps to a teammate as he goes over the edge and gets caught in that death blossom by Backbone, who now turning up here in his second half.
I tell you what though, man, that was the fight that they needed to win for the Philadelphia Fusion. Now you're going to allow the London Spitfire to stabilize here. He'll get control of the top of the castle. The Sparker is going to be able to rain down. I mean, this is such a good angle for the Sojourn. Like, you do not want to be trying to fight that angle from, you know, low to high, trying to hit those shots. See the Disruptor shot just end up there, like, kind of forces them off of that ledge. Just trying to get them into that castle.
Another Disruptor shot will be up here for Sparker, which gets extra annoying if you try and take the stairs as the Fusion. They instead opt to, well, dally a little bit here. They're trying to get the Junkenstein challenges, fair enough. Cramped by their land, boys. Primal Rage here for Bellisria.
Disruptor shot just knocks, you know, puts a way to get through the door, just blocks it, and look at that. Bellisria goes right over the top, and the London Spitfire, they just sound barrier and speed boost right on through, and Backbone just insta-kills Carpet.
That's not the first time that the London Spitfire have done that. This is characteristic of them, and we saw it actually on Lijiang Tower Garden, right? Bellisria tries to engage, he gets booped to the side, and then Admiral sound barriers speed boosts the rest of the team in. Bellisria is caught outside the play.
Well, what's terrible for Philly as well, as it took like, what? It took like a minute off the clock to set all that up, and it was over in seconds. I mean, they really got nothing for it. Look at this, Hottie just getting a good survey of the land, seeing where everybody's moving for the Philadelphia Fusion. They can set up this next fight.
Sparker losing charge here as he's not made contact with a foe for a minute, but he's still maintained a little bit. Disrupt the shot, give me a tickle there. Hardy emerges within the midst of the Philadelphia Fusion now. Okay, Kitsune Rush now off towards that right-hand side here. Carpe forced away by the Primal Rage Winston, but Hardy takes a licking as a result. Still able to play around the card. Philadelphia, they want to push this in. It's Backbone's Death Blossom though. That is a death knell for the Fusion. It's another push getting stuffed.
And Hottie has been so aggressive, man. Getting into the backline of the Philadelphia Fusion, and they have not made him pay for it at all. I mean, how many times do we see Bellisria just jump in, and he's getting hit with whether it's like a headshot from the Kariko and some, you know, Sojourn and Reaper damage, and he's like basically dead by the time he gets in there. They are not punishing Hottie at all.
Also Admiral. Admiral's making it impossible for Bellisria to actually get in a position to get damage off of his jump, let alone be in range to actually do damage with their Tesla cannon. Keep an eye on how Admiral just repositions Bellisria as he tries to engage. It's really frustrating for the Fusion who can't get him in that position. Again, we're fighting in the castle. Another great place to disrupt the shot, and everybody's lined up. This could be scary. MN3 gets taken down. Sparker just has to wildly aim to the churning mass of Fusion bodies as they try and push their way up the stairway.
There.
Absolutely nothing for that.
He Death Blossomed in that corner to try and maybe, like, they were going to bait in, run on in, and nobody took the bait there from London. Is what, now you have to back out here. Things have gone terribly for the Philadelphia Fusion after their point A take.
Philly can't read London. I mean, Carpe's expecting them to follow up on that, but they already get 2 kills from that engagement.
And you see where, like, Hottie's playing. It's like, you know, they're almost kind of like stalking the Philadelphia Fusion. It's like, okay, we'll let you guys get in that position. And then they just start positioning London around them and collapse on them from so many different angles, and Philly can't do anything about it.
He might be waiting as well for MN3 to use his slide, because he knows that there's no mobility for the Sojourn to evade him as he tries to jump in. And then he probably calls his boys, come out the trees and start knocking heads. Here come the Fusion, grouped up now. Past the Disruptor shot, MN3 doesn't have a good angle to make use of this overclock, but he's got no choice. He has to try and find some value here. But it's Spitfire sitting in the corner. They're just waiting. 2 support ultimates online, but MN3 is able to find Backbone at the start of the fight. It's a good opener, to be sure. Kitsune Rush used here, but the Spitfire in no position to come out and stand upon that hallowed ground. They're forced back inside the castle. And finally, the Fusion finds some picks from MN3. Bit of a Hail Mary, but they'll take it.
Well, the MN3 gets a really good first pick, but they also, Carpe turns around, and with Vixa, they take care of Hottie instantly. Hottie just trying to be a nuisance in the backline time and time again, was not getting punished at all. That time they adjust, they turn, they take him out fast, and they're able to win the fight.
It's an air rush here for the Fusion, they're far from done. Again, the Spitfire disengaged. Make it so the Fusion can't benefit from that haste. Well, they'll return to that area, but great disengage, something we've seen a bunch from the Spitfire. Admiral really has this on lock. So the high ground goes hard in there. He'll just tickle from that corner. Backbone hoping to punish Bellisria as he repositions as well. Wraithwalk had to be used. Not a lot of burst healing for the Fusion, so it will take a while to get Bellisria fighting fit once more.
And London's okay with this. Like, they're okay with Philadelphia just kind of like posturing and playing a little bit slow here because of how much time they have in the bank.
Bellisria finds himself just in the middle of that bubble with Backbone. He's trying to dance it. Spark is just able to find a window to get an easy headshot kill.
And I feel like this is like the wrong approach with a meta like this. I feel like you just need to take as many fights as possible, as it's a big Death Blossom with the Disruptor shot making it difficult for players to get out. Because, you know, there's so much burst damage here, Mitch, that like if you just play slow and wait to just try and get the perfect fight, the fight ends before you even have a chance, right? Whether it's like a Reaper shotgun, like insta-kill in close range, a railgun shot, that I think you just need to take constant fights with a meta like this.
Down barrier for the Fusion. They're going forward here. Both support ultimates from the Spitfire and the Fusion are a long way away from the cart. No chance of touching there. And I love what you mentioned, right, about the idea of just trying to take these fights early and often. The Fusion might be playing with the mindset of a previous meta where your fights were predicated on the ability to get it, the pick with Sojourn, or allow your Genji to zero in on a low health target and then jump in and make the assassination, speeding the rest of your team in. Now, you don't really need anything special to start these fights. You need your Reaper in a good spot, close enough to the enemy tank, and you need that speed boost available. That's about it. The Spitfire say, we can make the target.
222 days since our screens were last graced by the Overwatch League. So good to be back, of course.
The Nano at the ready for Crypto could give this Marvel or Striker on the tack visor. He wants mini room control, but got zoned off by Foles, but he's gonna come back around. Full 360, Striker coming for the backline and the kids. 4K, he strikes again as Foles goes back to spawn.
Oh, the prodigal son of the Boston fans has returned home. Did you miss him, Boston? Happy. Might find themselves an angle here as they take a look. Sees Twilight, what in the world was that? Someone call E-Sick. There's no way Happy hits those. All those!
Oh my god! And, okay, the Zarya's cool, but she got a lot of health. Okay?
Sheesh!
Are we gonna be in someone's YouTube video? Do I gotta shout out my mom? Happy. You're cracked.
Paddy a little bit scared of Finn. I would be too, to be fair. He's got a lot of utility. Nano available. Nano blade for Sam. He dashes straight to the backline. Insta-killing. Landon. Sparker dead. Backbone 2. There's Admiral. Another 5K. No! Proper steals it. Come on, man. Oh, you're supposed to give him the clip. Sam, though, still with 4 kills. Nice work.
You're doing a great job of draining time off this objective, and Pelican gets caught in for a little bit too long. However, Merritt, as Attack Visor gets 2, looking for a little bit more. You're looking at Pelican, you're not looking at Merritt, he's got 3, and the Outlaws, that should be enough to take the point.
That should definitely be it. The good thing here for Fuel is that they built a lot of time off the clock. This is going to go down there, but Merritt getting a lot there, a lot of value, and this is just continuing to show as the fight breaks down, Soldier is so dangerous.
The Mayhem didn't really have a chance to respond there with ults of their own.
Nope. I take it back. I take it back. Nero proved me wrong. Nero proved me wrong again.
Are you serious, Nero? That was a massive anti from Ultraviolet. Nanoed. Nero with the 5K. Okay. There's the smile that I wanted to see. Forget map number 1. Icon Valda is yours. Oh my god. Oh, okay, so this is the anti-nade that set the entire thing up. Oh my god! What is more satisfying than that? I cannot name a single thing.
Are you ready for the show?
Carpe again! And M3! He's going absolutely nuclear!
Dashes and instantly finds 3 kills.
Leading the charge for his team application.
damages as well, but Fury, excellent Gravitic Flood.
Spark had the numbers, but Bellisry has the space. The mines! The double kill!
Shot through Aimgod. He's looking for the elimination. He goes on the offensive, but Aimgod shuts him down. Oh, everybody really low inside of the valley. Nixa gets 2 for himself. Okay.
There's still time to get your tickets, that's right. Join us at the Overwatch League Grand Finals and catch Leah Denise and Charisse Booth, the voice actors for Junker Queen and Sojourn, live. Tickets are on sale now. Come hang with us in Anaheim. Eventually they're going to pry me out of this garage and bloody send me over there as well, so we can all enjoy the vibes together, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be absolutely mental. No better place to return than the Anaheim Convention Center, which is, I mean, for me, Matt, it's really the epicenter of where some of the most incredible moments of Overwatch have occurred.
Overwatch, I mean, I've been there for like amazing Call of Duty events throughout the year, just like an awesome esports venue, just so many great events that have happened there. Where I'm excited to see, you know, with obviously the first 2 maps of the playoffs in the books, kind of how things shake out for the rest of the field as we go towards next week.
Absolutely. If this is anything to go by, the play in this meta is going to be fast and furious. You'll notice that neither of these teams really making any changes, any sort of you know, to the lineups, right, in terms of their hero compositions. They are sticking with very much the same formula all the way through, Matt. London just seemed to be better. I mean, Philly better hope that Route 66 ain't the end of the line, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know, what was you know, Game of Thrones Season 1? It was like a life for a life, right? I feel like you know, hexagrams to get the Eagles back on track, sacrifice the Philadelphia Fusion. They look dead right now, man. I mean, that's tough the way they lost Eichenwald, because they actually put together a really good offense on point A. It was just after that things fell apart. I think they gotta up their pace of play. Like I think just, you know, with how this meta is, and I think like how fast some of these kills and fights go down, and I think just historically in Overwatch, like the more fights you take, I think like the better off you are. It just seemed really slow for the second part of the map. They end up having like 4 minutes plus going into that B checkpoint, you know, trying to attack that castle, and they just kind of like walked around for a minute plus before that second fight took off. And what happens? You know, Backbone just kills Carpe instantly. There's nothing even happened. By the time you get to the next fight, right, you know, you burn about 1:40 on the clock. It's impossible to recover from stuff like that.
Well, for this sort of more moderate healing output that Lucio and Moira and Kiriko, excuse me, provides, there's not much you can really do about being in the middle of the fight and then a Reaper headshot.
You're used to playing on live, talking about Moira.
Yeah, God help me. I mean, but if you get headshot by a Reaper, there's no way you're coming back from that. There's just not enough time to get you topped up. Maybe if you've got an incredible Kiriko, she can throw down a protection Suzu, but that's it.
Backbone excels at these Widow headshots off the rip. Let's see. Everybody playing close, though, for Philly.
They don't know that because they're obviously not using a Sonic Arrow like the days of old to scout this out. But they're well aware now as Hardy pops his head up there to look over the back fence and sees his neighbors having an absolute party. And God has the Suzu himself, steps away.
Yeah, he has to TP pretty far away over to MN3 to be able to live there, and has to use the invuln on himself before even using the Swift Step. So you have some of those cooldowns down now. You see Philly playing a little bit further back now. Hottie goes deep there trying to make a play for MN3 in the high ground.
Belisria gets caught. Yeah, it's going to be traded though. MN3 and Spark are both striking blood here. London Spitfire probably happy with an exchange like that now, as Carpe wanted to buy a couple more seconds, comes out of that rate walk. A couple extra shots in the backbone to force him away. And Aimgod's knives go to work.
Yeah, because I think that's the right move for Philly. You have to play close. I think playing close probably gives you like 3 fights versus 2. You know, you get another fight here and then probably another one there at the end.
Oh, man.
With a kill on an Aimgod, that is massive. You have no, invuln there. You know, the healing output of Kiriko is really strong. As everybody just kind of has to just run on in, try and get his kills and maybe trade here. It's not going to work out for Philly.
And you see Sparker's timing is immaculate there. He knows that Belisria is going to try and deploy a projected barrier mid-flight because he's worried about getting headshot on his way in. In the days of old, Winston's used to turn their back on their dive target so they couldn't be headshot, like by a Widow, for example. But he actually gets a charged rail headshot just before Belisria deploys that bubble. So the timing's perfect. And it's like a half-health Winston that touches the ground, and then he gets swarmed on by the rest of the Spitfire. Not the start I think the Philadelphia were looking for here. They trade up at every occasion at Carpe. Oh, buddy. Fish out of water, am I right?
Yeah, so that'll be point A taken there by the London Spitfire. And it's interesting, in the break, I actually saw, Crimzo kind of tweet whether it was like power rankings about the teams right now, but he also expected to kind of put a note. They expect to see like a little bit of crazier results with a meta like this, and I think you can kind of see why, right? With like Sojourns being able to just like one-shot players before fights even kick off, how new Kariko is. I think when you look at teams who have these like really strong Sojourn players who can pop off at any time, those are ones you could look at for maybe creating some upsets, where Spark are playing lights out today.
MN3, nothing doing when it comes to those railgun headshots. They've got to find something here. Landon's already dealt with Carpe. The kunai come flying thick and fast when you're standing inside that Kitsune rush. Very, very scary, especially if you're hitting consecutive headshots on large targets like Winston. The Spitfire now want to slow things down just a little bit, but Sparker's not able to get on the same program as the rest of the Spitfire quite in time. Velasria here, most of what he's doing is trying to check Hardy's position with this primal range.
You saw Sparker a little bit further out and decided to make a play in. To be honest, you needed to make a play at that moment in time because you were getting absolutely nothing from the rest of the squad, and now you lose MN3. Sound barrier used for both teams here, just trying to keep players alive, as maybe you can now push back up to the cart and gain some control for Phil.
Carpe and Velasria are on the docket here to try and get them out of the sticky situation they've found themselves in. So they do. They pressure forward. Hardy eventually gets caught out. Later in the fight, Carpe's able to come alive. Sparker returns over the flourish. He's able to find that one elimination with the help of Landon. And Backbone wants to keep fighting. Again, London exemplify this keep going play style they've been showing us.
Well, Reaper is so difficult to just dislodge from areas, especially when you're playing that Winston, because he's so tanky, whether it be the lifesteal, you have a Wraith form for some, invulnerability, you have the protection shield you now for invuln as well. Lots of ways to just keep Reaper just surviving on the point where, yeah, if the enemy Reaper's down and, you're kind of like in an even matchup, you push forward if yours is alive. Use that Reaper as like a battering ram.
Right, here comes the fusion. They get caught on the high ground though. And look at Hardy sort of zoned them quite effectively. He gives up his life in order to do so though. The London Spitfire, those still get what they came for, don't they, Matthew? Another checkpoint to their name. Really just have to try and make this a convincing fight win. Try and generate some ult charge and start to dig in for the next phase of the map.
Yeah, if you're Philly, you need to stop the bleeding, right, so to speak. You need to play close here. You need to rattle off a few fights in a row. Because, you lose a fight, you're going to give that ultimate advantage over to London Spitfire with the way the game looks right now. And they're just going to walk this thing home with how they've been playing so far.
Thank God they're trying to stay mid-range as much as possible. Away from the Reaper, but close enough that the healing doesn't take too long to get to Velasria. Travel time on healing, something that we haven't really explored much in Overwatch. It's much of it's instantaneous. Oh, there it is, MN3. Big pick there. The Fusion not in a position to take like a full fight quite yet, but they'll move up here and posture more aggressively.
I think they should be playing more aggressively the entire series, right? Like, they end up like backing up to play from this corner, and that continuing rush comes in. Like, they end up having to back up even more. They give up some space there, like force London to use those ultimates like right outside of their spawn door, as opposed to just kind of inviting them in and giving them some payload progress. Not a ton of progress, but still, it's something.
Brazen play there from Velasria. Even if he was in primal rage, he looks to try and cut Backbone away from the rest of his team. He's able to do so for the most part, but he'll be back for more. Backbone absolutely doggedly pursuing the back line. Great beat timing there. A second later, and that's the end of MN3. He still goes down anyway as Backbone gets his teeth in and won't let go. Angod, meanwhile, out of the picture here. Very scary healing situation now for the Fusion. Carpe has to turn tail again. Philadelphia constantly being staved off by the Spitfire, fight after fight.
They disrupt sure shot damage enough to take out Carpe at the end, so Velasria has to jump onto the point, but you see how weak he is right off the rip.
Yeah, he's in deep trouble. Again, the healing comes quicker from Kiriko with that haste buff, but it's just not enough to keep him alive. Not against the burst damage of Sparker from the top of the truck here. Carpe trying to go for a gambit, looking for a Death Blossom, and only comes up with Admiral, and that is far, far too little.
And dude, it's difficult to finish this map in general, but to finish with a minute 29 in the time bank, it's just another gut punch, I think, to Philly, where this is their map selection yet again, as you just see London has such a command over the flow of the game right now, in my opinion.
And again, you said you'd like to see Philly just be more aggressive in general. You know, I know that obviously having to play without Zest changes the calculus a little bit, right? There's no doubt about it. But getting Carpe into a position where he can succeed is such an important part of making this composition work. He's been able to make a couple plays alongside Bellisria, right? Late in the fight sometimes, they're able to coordinate. But Sparker's been all over MN3 in terms of finding those first picks in these fights.
But when you look at like the comps, though, Mitch, right? It's not like you're missing out like Zest playing like, you know, something that is highly mechanical, right? Like a Genji, an Echo, a Tracer, right? I feel like the Reaper is just mostly like positioning, cooldown management, decision-making, right? Like, although Carpe has not played a ton, this is still a pick that we've seen from Carpe in the past. He should be able to play it at a high level here.
Having a slightly better time than the last couple of maps is all well and good for Carpe, but it's going to take more than that to put the Fusion in a position where they can actually have tempo. That's the word I'm looking for. I don't think the Fusion have had any sort of tempo throughout this entire series. London just are more than happy to engage very quickly. I do wonder like how London divine their win condition in some of these fights, right? A lot of the time, Backbone is trying to wade through the massive bodies and just find MN3.
It looks like Backbone was setting up there for some kind of TP up on the high ground. Had the button covered, but look at this. Interesting that London will allow them around the corner here. Maybe they want to just give them some space to just kind of maybe have Philly actually split themselves off from each other. You know, force Philly to play aggressive.
We'll give Backbone like an easy flank route that includes a health pack along the way. Might be the answer. Oh, okay, he doesn't expect Carpe to be behind him, so he takes a bunch of damage, gets the Suzu treatment. Fusion are grouped up here, except for MN3 playing on the card. I think London just neglect that. Or leave him. They think they can take a 5v4, but Sparker immediately blown up.
Like mending the shadow.
You see how much, you know, the Kuriko's used in the, just kind of for offensive purposes, right? You know, that triple headshot damage, really strong, you know, especially on the squishies, but even for the Winston, as you know, Philly has done a nice job here getting the cart moving here right off the rip. London can't lose control of this high ground here on Big Earls.
It's tough for Kiriko to find good damage when there's a Winston bubble in play. She does nothing to them, generally. Really hard to break them. And doesn't want to be inside one for risk of just getting too close. She's very fragile if she gets caught out. Hardy is picked off, though. So the Fusion, this is where they have to go. If you think of the player advantage, they really need to pressure it a bit more. Okay, Kitsune Rush going to be in their face. Carpe's going to be rebuffed from the backline he intended to get to there. Spitfire holding a little bit longer, but Admiral obviously not opting to sound barrier here. Stall if he can, but there won't be much in this defense for the Spitfire.
And the fights that they've been successful in, the Philadelphia Fusion, it's been MN3 getting a pick off on the Sojourn, which I think, you know, even for London, they've been really good, you know, at that as well, capitalizing. And then making Hadi pay for jumping into that back line. That time it was, you know, Fixa with some help from Carpe. Once that happens, you're able to push the Reaper and the rest of the squad in rather, you know, easily. And it's good things that happen for the Philly Fusion. They gotta punish Hadi more. Once he jumps in, he gets close to that back line, gotta make him pay.
Credit to MN3 there. A big pick as Carpe was getting turned away with nothing after that first engagement. Again, they're trying to access him, and Hardy's able to find the response. Crucial way to even the ledger somewhat, and Hardy even going to stop off for a mega, as his team's pretty dispersed at the moment. See Backbone sort of tracking back a little bit here. Angol wanted to follow Carpe in there with the swift step. Fortunately, there's going to be a sound barrier in play from Fixer, and Backbone cannot hold up in the middle of this Fusion melee.
And this is really good for the Philly Fusion. You needed to get some type of momentum back in your favor. Nice body blocking here. The Bellisria just preventing some of those players to walk on through back towards the spawn, as you're going to get Sparker because of that. You have the Primal here too. You can play up on this high ground. You can actually just play for this door yet again. Philly could put themselves in a good position to finish the map.
They definitely have some ground to make up. When the Spitfire were in this position, Philly ended up, well, not being able to touch the card even though they had all their players
the lower route, yeah.
I think Hardy scouted with that jump. That was all it was really supposed to be, but they have to act quickly, and they've lost MN3. Or rather, they've lost Landon. MN3 was able to sit up on that high ground with the London Spitfire choosing oddly not to engage in that fight. They just get picked off. MN3 has his slide to be able to get away here. Hardy's going to have to look elsewhere. Right now, you'll be seeing nothing. Sent back to spawn, and here come the Fusion now in this last phase of the map.
And you see how much, how different the game looks when they're able to protect MN3. You know, Hardy's not back there causing problems, putting bubbles down, you know, causing issues. And you give him lanes to shoot from, and he's, you know, as good of anybody in the league as Sojourn. And you know, you hit those shots, it just forces London back, or it just gives you an advantage early on in the fight.
Belisria able to drive a wedge between the two sides of the Spitfire now, but gets caught a little bit too close to the thorns here. Backbone brings him down. Fusion forced to back away. Slowly here. Plenty of time to work with for Philly. It is tough to defend with Winston-based compositions. We see it on many maps here. London are getting a couple of these individuals caught out, namely Backbone sometimes just overextending ever so slightly. That's another big pick from MN3. I don't know how he expected to see Sparker coming on that flanking route.
And that was Sparker's overclock as well. Sparker was coming from that angle with the overclock and just trying to maybe get a pinch on with the rest of his team. But MN3 with a headshot takes him right out, and he's got an overclock. He can sit up on top of this trailer. I mean, this could be, you know, an even faster time than London.
The Fusion can create a safe pocket for MN3. This ultimate could be devastating. This is quite the narrowed lane to play in right now. MN3 sliding away. Susu has to be used there. Not available here. And MN3 might be macabre artwork if he's not careful. No, sound barrier timed as well. But of course, Kitsune rush here for the London Spitfire. They double it up with the sound barrier. The Fusion don't want to peek into that. So they wait a little bit, and here's our overclock from MN3.
Yeah, you see everybody trying to get behind some type of cover here. For the London Spitfire, waited out, but MN3 gets right in the mix.
Might be the man right now, Matthew. In the moment, MN3 comes alive. The London Spitfire now struggling to answer the threat that is his Sojourn. But Carpe's going to be brought down by Admiral now. The brute force aspect of the Fusion's lineup has been taken out of the picture for now. And Hardy's able to force MN3 away by nothing but his vault. This is a great spot for this from Backbone. Pix is opening well, and the Death Blossom yields a team fight win.
Oh, and that got dangerous there as the payload so close to completing the map. As what had to happen there, Mitch, is everybody from the London Spitfire trying to come outside of that the spawn door from the left, and that's where like Belisria and the rest of the team playing. And Hardy can't really go back to help them because he has to be the one contesting the point. So he's set on the point to whose job is it to clear that area out. It's Backbone. He gets over there fast with a speed boost, gets the Death Blossom right in the mix, and takes a few players out. That was massive.
Once more into the breach for the Fusion. Carpe has a Death Blossom this time around. First, forces Backbone away. That Ray Force plus mega health pack means that his opposite number will be safe for now. Pretty early Winston bubble used there by Hardy. But Landon is able to pick Belisria out somehow. Getting rid of the enemy Winston. Philadelphia. Their spear is no tip.
Yeah, and he's, you know, obviously not going to be, you know, a target to be teleported to from the Kariko because not going to TP into your own death. And Lucio's not going to be able to get over there to heal anyway. So Belisria really with there's no like honor, you know, Zen to be able to heal a little bit at range. As soon as you break that line of sight and you're in a little bit too deep, there's no helping you.
Philly now have less time to get the map done than the Spitfire have in their bank. Just getting the map done at all is going to be their main priority here. Spark is able to force Fixer to run away here, meaning Aim God's the only one with the proximity to heal properly, and even he's out of the picture now. Spark is just able to pick Belisria out of the mix, and again, the Towering Titan for the Fusion picked off early, and Aim God even, oh man, he even went for the ultimate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Carpe, you see him underneath. Payload go try and TP away. As London, they get that fight win. They hold on to Primal, which is going to be great to stall. They have Sound Barrier, and they're going to have the Kitsune Rush. I mean, they are in a perfect position to win this. I think if you're Philly, you know, you're looking at what? Does Carpe have, you know, an Overwatch 1 Season 1 Death Blossom kind of in the mix, right, that takes out everybody? I think it's more reliant on MN3 to hit some of these shots.
Carpe doesn't get where he needs to be, or so he thinks, but Hardy was a decent target for him. The Primal Rage, though, makes it harder to capitalize on. Kitsune Rush now down for the Spitfire. Sound Barrier is going to be there as well. Backbone coming in with the Death Blossom. And MN3 is felled. Belisria clinging to life. And you know what they say, Matt? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Once again, the London Spitfire dominate the Fusion in a post-season game. What a showing from this Spitfire. Really hard to have criticisms of their play in this match.
I mean, no, they look lights out awesome in this matchup against the Philadelphia Fusion. They look like they had a real understanding of how this meta is supposed to be played. Sparker, goes toe-to-toe with, MN3, who's fantastic on the Sojourn himself. London with a really good first win here.
And what a proof of concept for their take on the current meta. Looks like they've had plenty of time to work on it. Looking very, very clean. On occasion, right, the usual suspects for the Fusion turn up.
Echo makes Reaper, all of Reaper.
Wasted any time at Primal Blade. Realistically, they're one game behind the leader in this Eastern region. Should be expecting them to bring their best here, and I guess everyone looking at Hangzhou going, okay, you've got a different main tank, we've got a different tank player helming this roster now than we sort of had in more recent history. Is that a difference maker? Gushui, the Primal Blade as he's known, can he have the impact? Can he make the difference? I mean, his opposite number is a true veteran of the league in Fate.
Right. I would say, though, like, if you're looking at, in terms of playstyle, you would probably categorize, like, Fate and Fleta in more of, like, a conservative, like, safer playstyle when you look at, like, the Reaper and Winston players, where, can they play, like, if the game gets ratcheted up to a really fast pace, right, and the Spark are really pushing them to another level, can they play at that level of aggression and pace? Because, like you mentioned, I think the best point we've seen from the Dragons when we've seen Who Are You in, Who Are You is another big-time playmaker to put next to Lip, right, especially when he's on the Genji, and really can, open things up for himself. Fleta, I think, is more of he can play everything at such a high level, and not as much like the playmakers maybe like from a few seasons past.
And I guess we're going to get an answer to the question in this matchup. Like, what degree is there wriggle room in this sort of 5-hero composition, right? Looks like most teams seem to be in agreement that this is just absolutely the way to go. Both teams coming out mirror compositions again. Sojourn, Reaper, the Winston with the Kiniko, and of course Lucio. Maybe the Spark to opt to take the high ground position to start with here, hoping to give Shy some really nice sight lines to find an opening.
Yeah, and Disruptor shot from Shy onto one side to try and force him to the other, and usually already in the window. Oh, that is a slide up to the high ground and a headshot right in Shy's face.
You just don't do that.
2 kills from Lip.
That's insane. That doesn't happen. I mean, you really expect a lot of Sojourn players to bide their time and and let their Winston go in first, but Lip is essentially leading the charge and absolutely pummels Shy.
I mean, just Lip with a solid 4K there in the feed to kick things off. 4 from Lip, 1 from Fleta, as the point goes over to the Dragons first.
That is disgusting. Shy, again, the kind of player that you expect Hangzhou to really try and use as their secret weapon here. Lip gets in his face and says, the court belongs to me, buddy. Great way to make a statement early here. Again, not so subtly, to the high ground goes Alpha Yi, joined by Gushui. Lip again maintaining a little bit of an off angle here and is sitting in a relatively safe pocket. Now as Fate just wants to disengage for the time being, as Lee J got a little low in that middle pillar. Shy's able to find Fleta though.
Yeah, that's a huge pick off, and this is what you want to see if you're a Spark fan. Gushui get right in Lip's face, make a play.
Very early Kitsune rush there from Izayaki. Soundberry also combined with it. Looks like these teams are trying to use those ultimates in conjunction early and often, just to make sure they have the durability to back the haste buff up. Hangzhou are going to try for one of their own, but Super Rich is busy sipping his tea in spawn. No chance to build up that barrier yet.
Oh yeah, Gushui, the Primal Rage, who's trying to make a play for Lijigan. He actually ends up getting Izayaki, as I believe he teleports right to him, and he's going to get lit.
That's 2, the Primal Blade, that's why they call it that. Somehow able to find an inordinate number of kills from an ability in Overwatch 2 that really is used for disruption and sowing discord among ranks. Gushui though, incredible juggling prowess displayed. And the Spark are going to get back in. They give up a lot of percentage in order to do this though.
Yeah, it's still like, even though they flip the point, you're going to see more players come in here for the Dragons, because you have the Reaper, you have both supports, and it's just Gushui on the point right now.
Guy making the play here, overclock used. Dragons pulling their heads back inside. Do not want to expose themselves to this, but Fleta has no choice. Shy rounds the corner, puts one right between the eyes, and now Fate really wants to just try and buy some time. Izayaki to the high ground here. Lips able to find Shy, so the Sojourn threat is down. But the Dragon's a little undermanned in order to have a full takeover of the point. And Izayaki doesn't have Swift Step for now. He'll play safe around the corner. He has very limited options about where to go.
His fate just stays within his range, gives him an exit there as Shanghai, they'll have both support ults here, Mitch, in their Death Blossom. I think this is their opportunity to flip the point back.
Cheers, love! It's time to save the world. Can't change the world by following all.
We're in this together. All of us.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Hustle up. Clear out.
Take everything from them.
Here they are. Get ready.
Target down. Recharging. Stay down.
Sorry, I'm not done yet. Let the Kitsune guide you.
First round.
Kill them a hole. Put them in the ground.
Rip them to pieces.
Score 1-0.
You want that louder?
For the moment, we have a common purpose. Let's focus on that.
What's up?
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
We are falling apart. Catch these healing waves. I'd stay down. Enemy here. Thanks for the help. Not so fast. That feels much better. Clear out.
Perfectly. You are safe with me. I'm overloaded. It's not loaded. It's almost
Breaking them down. Let's kick this off. Play it again and again. Disrupting.
Taking out the welcome.
This ends now. Coming through. Cybernetics regulated. Not so fast. Over there.
Let off some
Let
steam.
the Kitsune.
Victory. Play of the game.
You're going to get pretty close to tying this game up with a spark.
Let's see if Shanghai had that same bloodthirst as the Spitfire did. Looks like, yes, they are going to lead with both those support ultimates here. Alpha Yi staved off very quickly. The Spark might just opt to give this up here, especially losing Goose Ray now. Hard to stall a point out like this when so many support ultimates come into play.
Yeah, they have to. It was a nice attempt there from the Spark. They actually have Gushway jump down and put a bubble right on top of Alpha Yi as he's trying to use that Death Blossom inside of the Kitsune Rush, but nothing home there. Not able to connect with anything. And also a really nice play from Legion God here. With that bubble, like splitting players off, still able to connect with everybody with the sound barrier.
They're trying to start the fight off on the Dragon's terms here, but he gets just clobbered by Shy. Primal Rage there from Gushue, again, gonna make it hard yet. Again, it finds another kill. Lee Jae-gon going down. The Dragons get to 99 though. Hangzhou want to hold on to what they have left. They're in a win position here. Now they're back at 64 and counting for them. It's a long road to hope.
You see Gushue wanted to put that pressure and take out Izayaki, but didn't want to go right into the Reaper and still able to take him out and get out with his life as pushing on forward. Spark getting aggressive, and this is what I feel like they can really excel at against this Dragon. Taking the fight to the Dragons, make the Dragons be reactionary, not kind of take fights on their terms. I think that's where the Spark can see success.
Hangzhou support ultimates are out of phase though. It's either beat or Kitsune Rush, and never both of them in this game so far, owing to Super Rich dying early in that first fight. Okay, so that was Gushue's start to the last fight. He dives in on Lim, and Izayaki's already going to be felt there by that disrupt the shot. Fleta finds very little value from the Death Blossom sound barrier, owing to that in a big way. And Hangzhou just happen to have that come up at the right time. They're in charge now, and the Dragons are going to be forced back. Shanghai, again, the way they're playing these fights, Matt, right, using both their support ults at the same time, in theory, I guess, less opportunities to have these explosive team fights with extra durability or haste.
Yeah, and so what you also saw there in that first round, like, think about every time you saw Gushue use like the Primal Rage, right? Like, it's kind of been a thing historically in Overwatch where he's been so good with that Winston ultimate. no, I can think of like at least 4 kills he got during that first round with that Winston ultimate, which is usually used to just kind of stall. Where nothing really on the Shanghai side of things with Fate, where I think that's going to be really difficult for them to deal with this high-tier Winston play from Gushue.
And again, to what degree is like Super Rich's shots from downrange, the Cheerios, helping out in that kill? It just looks like Gushue annihilated Lip so quickly. You couldn't ask for a better pick off there, and a great way to start the fight. A really high arcing jump there as well to give the rest of his team time to get in position. Beautiful opener. Master Winston play here from Gushue.
And Alpha he gets really low, so that's where they have to back up. And now the die is going to come in from the Dragons.
Teru at range here, trying to play safe as you possibly can. Down the pit goes Gushue. He'll be able to join the rest of his team in just a moment here. A little bit in disarray are the Spark. They try and group up in the right side room here, but the Dragons are posturing further forward. They see Teru, but they can't get to him, and that buys enough time. Shai is able to take Fate down. Now again, the Initiator is off the table for the Dragons.
And I really like the way the Spark play that. They move into that room, and you don't want to actually just send the Winston in to go kind of head on into the Reaper, and you're just kind of stuck in no man's land, right? Fate is just kind of like stuck in the middle of nowhere on the point. Doesn't want to go in, can't really kind of stay there, not even making an attempt to actually get the point for Shanghai at the start. Puts them in a really tough spot.
It's in a rush to the point here for the Dragons, but when they play the point, they step out of that. Spark pop one of their own, they'll be able to play on the point with this ultimate. Flutter Force back there, Wraith walks away, and the door shut in his face. Care of a disruptor shot. Gushue drops down, health pack. May not be enough to keep him up, but the sound barrier sure will. Good timing from Super Rich here as the Dragons still struggling to find purchase on the point, finally flip it in their name.
And they backed off of it there for the Spark. I actually thought they could have used that sound barrier and really started to juggle the point, where maybe you have Gushue just jump back in with the Primal Rage. He's going to use the Primal Rage there, player down.
Going for the kills here, Gushue.
Everybody's so low, though.
Able to slip away, and somehow Gushue comes out with 2.
He is so good, bro.
Lee Jae-gon gets limp from limp. His extremity is used as a club. Now as Gushue looks to follow up on that scary display. Hangzhou flipped the point back. Gushue gets out alive because, of course,
dude,
here we go.
His Winston is just next level, man. Like, may not see it in a bit, but still, he just has such a mastery over that Primal Rage. Now that allows him to flip the point after a lot used by both teams.
Well, the clocks from both sides here. Both Sojourners trying to peer in for those picks, and Super Rich is down first. Hangzhou control the point here, but they might have to rely on Alpha Yi's Death Blossom if they can get him in position for it. Lip again, very slippery, hard to catch, and that Suzu's a second too late from Teru.
They finally do get a flip here as they'll take out Shai as he's just kind of existing for a little bit. But this is also like, this should have been percentage in theory, right? Mitch, it should have already been just going over to Shanghai, right? Like, Spark had about like 50 or something. Like, Gushue able to use that Primal, flip it, gives them about an extra like 15% or maybe a little bit more. It could be big later in the game, right? Just having that extra time already banked for the Spark.
Shanghai back to the point here. Perhaps want to try and play around a Kiriko ultimate on the point itself. Pleasantries exchanged by the Reapers here. Flutter forced to get away. Here comes both kids in their rushes into a Maelstrom of Madness, and Alpha Yi comes out with 3. He explodes forward. Reminds me of the Beyblade days of old. Lays waste to the Dragons.
Okay. And I think Lee Jae-gon was going for the sound barrier there, and I'm not sure he got it off. Take a look at this replay here. So, yeah, Lee Jae-gon tries to beat during it, not able to get it off. That is huge there from Alpha Yi.
There's just no saving anybody on your team when you have that hasted Reaper. Ulti.
And the Spark now have their own sound barrier, and they're going to end up with a Primal Rage out of this. They could steal map 1.
Super Rich here trying to make sure he can get a good barrier. Doesn't have to worry about the shield breaking it up now. Here it is. Beat is thrown down. The Spark going to go forward at 97%. The Dragon's not going to have a chance to get test here. Death Blossom from Flutter. It gets the kill on Shai at the very least here. And overtime has been secured. Gushue can't quite break through the Reaper here. So he turns back toward Fate away from the point. It's going to be 4 players for now for the Hangzhou Spark trying to hold on. Fate being topped up here and someone being forced out to the side. Teru able to get away, but Gushue gets caught amongst the massive Shanghai Dragons. Clutching at a chance to stay alive in his first map. They flip the point and they're going to come out on top in this fight. What a crucial one to win here for the Dragons.
And Leonard gets, Ray's end pushes in and he's going to die.
He overextends. The Spark, though, not in a position to capitalize all that quickly. They'll try and be fast about this if they can.
Oh, they're going to try. I mean, you're going to use Overclock and try and get right in there.
The Dragons have a Kitsune Rush available here. Overclock probably could be around Ender. Fate very, very low tier. Force back. Here's the Kiriko ultimate, and Lit goes forward now. Where are the targets? Alpha Yi! Oh my gosh! You can't be serious! The Dragons are ready to contest that. And Teru and Shy both are correct. The Dragons, at the end of the round, are unable to touch the point. That's Charlie Niner.
And look, I would not have picked the Spark to win this series. I think Shanghai, with what they've displayed over the course of the whole season, but I think you kind of see what I was laying out at the beginning of the series, where you get Gooshray on the Winston with Shy on the Sojourn and Alfie playing this Reaper just in the mix. You put players on some of their best heroes and they can really set the pace against this Shanghai team. And they're dangerous.
Now entering Midtown.
Stay in sight, and I'll keep you safe.
Let's attack the enemy from the front and take them by surprise.
There are no secrets. Let's get started. Got a lot of systems that need hacking.
Stay close. I can't hear you if you stray.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commencing. Capture objective A.
Systems
No te molestes.
Now go get him. Let me fix you up.
Translocators in place. Hack complete.
Backup requested at the objective.
Systems hacked. Catch you later. Todo listo por ahí. Did I scare you?
That's why I'm famous.
Duncan.
Objective A captured. Escort the payload.
Look who's on fire then!
Forcing Crusaders! I'm on fire!
Somebody called. Hack complete.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Just in case. Trying to keep me out? I don't think so.
Blasting up!
My ultimate is ready. Join me.
reload so slow? Apagando las luces. Too slow, Carmela. Locator set. Somebody call.
Crusaders!
Systems high.
Can you feel the heat?
Special delivery. Taste of poison.
Taking a full recovery.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Force and Crusaders!
Ladies and gentlemen, conjuring. Let the Kitsune guide you. Let's kick this off. You were being rude.
Force and Crusaders!
Round 1 complete. Score 3-0. Switching sides. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
From imperfection, we build a new world. Violence is such a waste of resources, but they've left us no choice.
If we can make it here, we can make.
प्रकाश से जीवन में
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Here to support.
Defend objective A.
Let's get this done.
Watch yourself. Positioning turret. form. Enemy seen. Heroes never die.
Pause it, Crusaders!
Thank you for your patronage.
Turret materialized.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Let the Kitsune guide you! Reality favors repetition. They are being revived, disrupting our operations. I finish my projects. Behold my creation. Finally, I can hear myself think.
Is that all you've got?
Heroes never die.
30 seconds remaining.
You have my thanks. Placing a turret here.
Pause it, Crusaders!
Start your engines.
10 seconds remaining.
Helden sterben nicht.
Victory. Play of the game.
Man, the Spark Steel map 1.
Scary stuff. We knew this would be the time for the Spark.